When Dame Judi Dench's husband, Michael Williams, tragically died of cancer in 2001, work became her rock.
He was wonderful. He was very, very jokey.
Her acting was something she drowned herself in, a bid to keep her mind busy and distract her from her grief. For almost 10 years, the Dame confessed she never thought dating or romance would be on the cards after losing the love of her life. But in 2010, that all changed after Judi met a man by the name of David Mills. He's a dairy farmer turned conservationist, and despite their vast difference in careers, the pair had an instant spark. Mills had invited Dench, who is known for her work in conservation and environmentalism, to his center. David shared, "I invited her to come and have supper one night, and then she asked me to one of her things." Judi and David felt so connected to one another that they'd been together ever since. However, the legendary actress doesn't like to call Mills her boyfriend or partner. She shared, "I have a jolly nice friend now. I don't know what the word is because I don't like the word partner." She added, "Partner is something to do with dancing. Partner, horrible word. Friend? No. Boyfriend? No. Chap? Will chap do?" The actress shared that during one hot summer night, she and David went swimming and shared a glass of champagne. During their evening together, she said to him, "This is so fantastic." She and Mills enjoy the simplicity of their time together, and most importantly, they make each other laugh. She said, "I love having a good laugh. A sense of humor is the most attractive thing of all. It's essential." Dame Judi also expressed that just because she's in her late 80s doesn't mean she lacks the desire for romantic intimacy. She said, "Well, of course, you still feel desire. Does that ever go?" When it comes to marriage, however, Judi and David briefly considered it, but decided they didn't need a marriage certificate to prove their commitment to one another. She admitted, "He's not going to propose. No, 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 no. Let's all just pull ourselves together and be our age." What's more is that the pair don't live together. Instead, Dench lives with her 50-year-old daughter, Finty Williams, and her grandson, Sam Williams. However, she and Mills pretty much live next door to one another. As she explained, "David and we are much too independent, and he is very busy. He has a business to run." But regardless of whether they live together or not, Dench is left feeling very content. At the beginning of their time together, she confessed that she wasn't even prepared or ready for it. The actress explained that their relationship was very gradual and growing up. Judi added, "We got together, in a way, through the animals. It's just wonderful." There's nothing more inspiring than Judi finding love again, especially after losing the love of her life all those years ago. She and her late husband, Michael Williams, met through their work as actors. From a young age, Dench knew the stage was where she wanted to be. After high school, she went on to study at the Central School of Speech and Drama. At 23 years old, she finally hit the theater jackpot after making a name for herself in the realm of Shakespeare in the late 1950s. By the 60s, Dench was starring in films, and so was Williams. The pair had shared the screen on multiple occasions, as well as both being promising young stars in the Royal Shakespeare Company. But it wasn't until a decade later that they fell in love and began a relationship. When Judi left for a 6-week tour of Australia, Michael followed and proposed to her. After he popped the big question, Dench simply responded, "Ask me on a rainy night in Battersea, and I'll think about it." After giving the wedding proposal another go and meeting Judi's expectations, the couple married in 1971.
And what was the foundation of the relationship? Because I'm always curious about successful marriages.
I can tell, Louis. Sense of humour, probably mostly. Michael used to laugh, and when he laughed, he used to cry.
The following year, they welcomed their only child, daughter Finty Williams. After Finty was born, Judi thought this would be the best time for her to slow down on her busy work as an actress so she could focus on raising their daughter. However, Williams encouraged her not to give up on her career. She admitted, "I wanted to give it up because I wanted to be a proper mother and be around." And Michael said, "No, please don't do that." Dench explained that it wasn't just the future of her career that Williams was concerned about, but also the fact they were in need of a stable income and were able to give their daughter everything that she needed. Thankfully, both actors would soon be in for some good fortune because their respective careers as actors were about to skyrocket. Not much longer after the birth of their daughter, Judi's career progressed at an incredible rate. Her role in the 1995 James Bond GoldenEye film as Agent M was an unforgettable moment in her career. She subsequently played 2 British queens, won an Academy Award, a Tony, 4 television BAFTA awards, 2 Golden Globe awards, and 2 Screen Actors Guild awards. Sadly, in 2001, tragedy struck when her husband died from lung cancer at just 65 years old. When Williams died, Dench decided to still go full steam ahead with her work, but this time, it wasn't about money, but rather about keeping herself distracted from her overwhelming grief. The day after his funeral, Dench went to Canada to film the shipping news. Then, the day after she got home, she started filming Iris. She confessed, "It's all a bit of a haze to me. It wasn't the best time."
Are you okay talking about how it came to an end, how he came to die? I don't want to mention it.
Well, he wasn't well, and I'm not good at it, actually.
Years later, Dench said she still feels William's presence around her and their daughter. She explained that her late husband's presence was still very much in their home, and it brought her a lot of comfort. Speaking about the grief she experienced, Judi said, "I suspect I shall never ever get over Mikey. It changes who you are altogether, I think. Because it's like you're walking along and suddenly you're not looking, and there's an enormous chasm in front of you." In an unexplainable incident, the actress described a moment when she had spoken out loud to Michael in their home and went upstairs. The curtain in her bathroom has flicked open in some way, so she straightened it. Although he passed away many years ago now, Judi said it never gets any easier. She explained that unexpected kinds of things happen. Sometimes she'll be walking somewhere and see a photograph of Michael or something that reminds her of him, and she'll feel an overwhelming sense of sadness. She added, "I don't expect you ever get used to it." 2 decades after the loss of her husband, Dench admitted that there was still a lot of pain and grief attached to William's death. For years, the actress never considered marrying again, let alone finding another romantic interest. Then, the most unexpected thing happened. David Mills came into her life and changed everything. Judi finally felt like she had met the right person that she could give her heart to once again, even after it had been so terribly broken. While most people in their 80s would be deep into their retirement years at this point in life, Judi is still full steam ahead with her career, speaking openly about balancing her work life with health struggles and why they won't hold her back. Judi's deteriorating eyesight has been a battle for the star in later life, but the actor, like with most things in her life, met the challenge with grace and courage. She added, "In my mind's eye, I'm 6 foot and willowy and about 39. Fuck being 86 years old." Given the legacy Dench has, it makes sense why so many in Britain consider her to be a national treasure. But, hilariously, she hates the term. She said, "It sounds pretty dusty to me. I don't like it at all. I wish there was another word for it. A working, job actor is better." There's no doubt that losing a spouse is indescribably heartbreaking. Judi married the love of her life and never expected that she would ever find someone to love again after his death. However, meeting the right man made all the difference, and her relationship with David helped heal her heart from the years of grief she had suffered. We're so happy for Dame Judi, and her story of finding love after loss is one that we will never forget. We wish Judi and David all the best for their future together.